and I've been seeing this type of pattern a lot over on Instagram. Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mathilde, I'm a French knitter, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. If you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate if you did, so you can click on the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any future content. Today I really want to share with you some lace knitting patterns that I've been obsessed with. So I'm going to share with you some knitting patterns that I've been seeing over on Instagram that have not yet been released or that have just been released. There are going to be a few of them that are less recent that I've also been seeing mostly on Instagram, to be honest, and then yeah, I've been obsessed with them. However, my to knit list for the spring and summer is already quite big and I don't think I'll have time to add anything else on it. So this is my way of maybe living vicariously through you guys if you plan on knitting any of them, or I would love if you shared in the comments down below some lace knitting patterns that you've done in the past or that you plan on doing maybe this year or that is already on your needles. I would love to know. I am going to be looking at my laptop a lot in this video, and maybe I won't be going into too much detail on some patterns because, as I said, some of them have not yet even been released, so I don't have all of the information. I will make sure to mention down below the pattern names if I have them, and I will link the designers page either on Ravelry or their website if they have some, or their Instagram page, so that you can keep a lookout on their page for when the patterns will be released. Before we get into it, I'll just quickly mention what I'm wearing. This is my Friday slipover. It's a pattern by Petite Knit. I love it, and I have knitted it in Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair and merino in the colorway Marzipan. But let's just jump straight into it. The first pattern that I want to share is the Louisa Skirt by MariasVerden. She's quite a newer designer. I've mentioned one of her patterns in one of my previous knitting pattern roundup videos. I really love the designs that she makes, and this one is a lovely skirt featuring some lace wavy patterns that remind me of the Creabea's wave sweater. No, that's not what it's called. I put it on the screen. And I've been seeing this type of pattern a lot over on Instagram. I think Kyleigh by Brianna also has a pattern that has the similar lace pattern motif. So it's been very popular, I think, this spring. And MariasVerden also has a matching camisole, which is also really lovely. So you can make yourself a matchy outfit, or you could just make the skirt on its own, which I think is a perfect look for spring and summer, especially like on a beach in the evening. I love the mix of the stripes and the lace. I think it's also a theme that we've been seeing a lot this few months. So let's quickly talk about the specs for this one, and then I'll jump into another one that has a mix of stripes and lace that I really love. This pattern comes from size XXS to 3XL, so not the best size inclusivity, so ranging from an 81 bust circumference to 124, and she used pure silk by Knitting for Olive. It is knitted from bottom up and then has a fold down waistband at the waist. The other design that I really love because it has this mix of lace and stripe is a pattern that's been out for a few months already, and it's the lace loop sweater by Other Loops. I am in love with this sweater, and I know it's not exactly a spring summer sweater for some people wherever you are in the world where it's maybe way too warm for a sweater like this, because she has knitted it in either soft fine by Isaiah or merino and mohair combo. So I think you could easily substitute these yarns for a cotton yarn maybe to make this a little bit more summery, yeah. But personally I love the look of the mohair in this design, and I think it would just be perfect for those cooler evenings, or you know, the weather is still, at least in France, a little bit all over the place. So there are some days where it's 25-30 degrees, and then the next week it's like 15 degrees right now, so if I were to make this, and if I were to make this very quickly, I could get somewhere out of it. But even in the summer, where if you go on the beach after a swim or something, you might want to get cozy up in something warm, so that would be the perfect one for that. But I also think this one, and same thing for the Louisa skirt, you can make this without the stripes, without the different colors, and it would still be a really gorgeous project. The spec for this one is, as always with other loops pattern, the size range isn't great. It goes from XS to XXL, and it ranges from 115 centimeter to 145 centimeter bust circumference, because the positive is intended is 30 to 35 centimeters. And yeah, she used either Twinny held with soft fine by Isaiah, or My Fine Wool by Cardigan held with Kid Silk by Cardigan. She also has a picture of a sample made with the low contrast colors, which I think is, I don't love the blue myself, but I do think the low contrast is very pretty, because if you look from afar you'll see a garment that's just knit in one color, but actually the very light contrast just makes the lace pop even more, I feel. So yeah, I really like that. Next up we have a pattern by Bishy Bush called the Toscana Jumper. I've seen this one over on Instagram and I completely fell in love with it. The two reasons why I will not be knitting this is, first of all, as I said, too much going on already on my needles, but second of all, it's a bottom-up sweater and I'm just not in love with that construction. But if it weren't, I would be casting this one on in a heartbeat. So it's knit bottom up, and I think there were more information about it, but I can't really see. I think it's a 3-needle bind off that you do at the top of the shoulders, I think. I really love the look of that lace pattern as a vertical stripe rather than a horizontal stripe, which I think is what we see more often. I love that the top of the shoulder is more of like a rib pattern than the lace pattern, I think, and the back also is that ribbed pattern, or it's a different rib pattern, but it is not made in lace. I think the break that you have from that rib pattern in the shoulder and then stopping here and then straight into the lace is really lovely. I don't know why, I'm really into that. And I haven't knitted a lot, well, I haven't knitted any 3/4 length sleeves, but I think for a lace summer garment, I think that's really such a perfect way to do this. It feels like a blouse. It must be really nice to wear. They use their own Le Petit organic cotton, which I've really been wanting to try. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm really curious about it. As for the sizes, again, not a lot of sizes. It goes from extra small to a XXL, ranging from a 50.5 centimeter bust circumference to a 73.25. I feel like it's not 50, because 50 to 73 centimeter bust circumference, that's really small. So I think they must have messed up and missed a 1 before all of that. So I'm not sure, but that's what's written on the website. Next up, we have a combo pattern, let's say, from Brianna Mason called the Fleur T and the Fleur Cami. It features the same lace patterns, which is very delicate. Reminds me, I mean, maybe it's because the first sample is in green, but it does remind me of like a meadow or a flower. Obviously it's called the Fleur T, which means flower in French. And I think I'm more in love with the T version. I'm not sure what the construction of this one is. It is worked bottom up in the round, and then the sleeves are knitted in the round. This one has been released in the summer of last year, and then for the camisole the year previously, so it's been a bit of an old pattern, but I really love the look of that one. The camisole I like a bit less, I think, because for me the v-neck is a bit too high up. I don't love that look on camisoles, but I really love the lace designs on these. She used a cotton yarn for both of those. Yeah, she used the same yarn for these, so she used Siwek Linear which is a mix of viscose, cotton and linen, and the size range is from a size 1 to a size 9, ranging from 74.5 centimeter to 155.5 centimeter bust circumference, so pretty good going, and it's the same size range for the camisole. So yeah, I really love the look of those. Let's talk about another tee that I've been seeing. Unfortunately, this one isn't available in English yet. I think it's going to be. It's only available in Norwegian for now. This is a design by Carolina Hamre. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. It is the Nora Blondegenser Voksen. Again, probably butchering that name. Very sorry about that. The size range isn't great. Again, it's from XS to XXL, and so it goes from 100 to 133 centimeter bust circumference. I'm not sure what the intended positive is for that one, but I'm guessing because the smallest size is 100, it's probably at least 20 centimeter of positive is, so it's quite a boxy t-shirt. But I love the mix of that lace design and the picot edge at the bottom on the top of the neckline, and I think probably at the bottom of the sleeves. Yeah, I think so. The sleeves lengths are quite long. I think I would want it just a tiny bit shorter because it seems to be going past her elbows, but it's absolutely stunning, and it has a matching baby and junior version, which is so pretty. However, it is in Norwegian for now, so either you fall in love with the design and hop onto Google Translate to help you translate the pattern, or you're gonna have to wait a little bit for the translation. But it is really pretty. Next up, we have a sweater by TwinKnits. So this is the Acanthus sweater. This is a pattern that is available from size XS to 3XL, and that means it's going from an 83.5 centimeter bust circumference to 139. Recommended is 6 to 15 centimeters. This one has two versions. There's like the normal version and then there's the fluffy version. So for the fluffy, she used, I think, 3 strands of mohair, and for the regular version she used a sport plus lace weight yarn. This is a lovely lace pattern that reminds me of a cable design. Like, feel like if you look at it from afar it would look like cables, and again it's that vertical lace stripe rather than the horizontal stripe, which I really love. I feel like this one is a little bit less summery. Like, I wouldn't wear this out on the beach, but it would still be pretty light if you were to do the regular version. I think if you were to do the mohair version, it's definitely, I think, perfect for spring, for like that transition from winter to spring or from summer to fall. I think it would look really gorgeous. I think I like the look of the fluffy version more, just because the lace really seems to bloom even more and the fabric seems even lighter, and so it would be, I think, a gorgeous knit to have in your wardrobe. Then another pattern that is not out yet but I think is in testing right now is a pattern by Knitters and Friends. So I don't have a lot of information about the specs of this one, but it is a raglan dress that features those lace small flowery pattern, which I really love. I think a raglan dress is perfect for the summer, and I love the spread of the lace motif. I think I'm in love with this because of the color that she chose, which is a really lovely light blue, which I think is perfect for spring and summer, and I'm really excited to see it on other bodies, other testers. I think it's really gorgeous. It's got ribbed neckline but I-cord edges on the sleeves and maybe at the bottom of the dress as well. I can't see the bottom in the picture, and I don't think there's waist shaping on it or anything, so I don't think it would be great for every body type. For example, on me, I don't think it would look great, but I think the design is really pretty and it would be really easy to throw on in the summer and just wear outside, depending on what yarn fiber you use. Next up, we have the Duo tee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by FiberTales. This is a design that was out last year. It's available from size XS to 5XL. So it ranges from a bust circumference of 75 centimeter to 155 centimeter. And she used a decade weight yarn, which is Bohem by Fonty. I love the look of this one. Obviously, it's a little bit less full-on lace, but I think it's what makes it so versatile to wear. I'm not sure how the lace detail and the picot edge is done. I think it may be crochet, so you might have to be comfortable with crochet or with wanting to learn it. But I love the mix of the simple stockinette, the bow at the bottom of the v-neck, and then the lace picot edge is really cute, summery, feels very, I mean, obviously all of the FiberTales pictures look very cottagey, but I think it would be great for like a summer on in a garden. I mean, maybe you wouldn't wear this to garden, but maybe I would. Yeah, to be in the garden for like 5 hours in the afternoon and just chill, do a little bit of gardening, knit. Obviously, I think, yeah, I don't know, I have a vibe in mind and this one is perfect for it. Okay, next up we have another sweater. I know maybe you don't need a lot of sweaters in the summer, but I love sweaters, so I always do. This one is the Lilac Blossom sweater, which is, I think, in testing or soon to be finished, soon to be released. Let me check actually. So this is a pattern by Kyleigh, Noelle, Darchiville, which was released only a few days ago, I think. And I think she's a newer designer. I haven't heard of her before. This is a pattern that is available from XS to 5XL, so ranging from a 95.5 centimeter to 170 centimeter bust circumference. I'm not sure what the intended positive is because I don't think it's really mentioned, but seems to be at least, I want to say, 20 centimeter recommended. This one reminds me of the Kutovakika's Salty Days sweater because of, and obviously of TwinKnits Stone Sweater or Ingrid Sweater because of these vertical panels of lace, and I really love the look of that. Again, you can see that wavy lace motif that is one made in the body and maybe on the sleeve as well, which I've mentioned before. I've seen a lot this past few months, but I think I really love the look of this one. I love the eyelet details to break from one motif to the next one, and it looks like it's a very cozy oversized sweater. And I think she used wool Voksen for that one, which is a fingering weight yarn. So yeah, it is a fingering weight sweater, so I think actually pretty good for summer to wear. Would be quite light, but probably takes a while to knit. Then we have a design by Park Williams, which was released a month ago. This is the Crumpet cardigan. I saw this one and I fell in love. This is a round neck, all over lace design that feels very springy, very light and breezy, and also very feminine in a way. This is available from a size XS to 5XL, so ranging from a 90.25 centimeter to 170.25 centimeter bust circumference, and it is meant to be worn with 5 to 15 centimeters of positive ease. She used the Wandering Flock cotton lino, but she does recommend a sport weight yarn in a cotton silk linen alpaca blend. In the picture she's also wearing the matching Crumpet camisole, which I think is also absolutely stunning. I love the mix of the two together, but I also love them both separately. The Crumpet camisole was released a year previously. It's got the same size range, however the bust circumference is meant to be from 71 to 142.25 centimeter, and it's meant to be worn with 0 to 15 centimeter of negative ease. She used the same yarn. I love that she styled it on a picnic blanket because that would be the setup where I would imagine wearing this one. I don't know why. And she also shares photos of different test knitters, which I think is always good to be able to see the design on different bodies. The camisole is definitely a little bit see-through though because of the lace pattern, so I think it's good to have the cardigan version so that if you want to make this one, you might feel more comfortable wearing the cardigan rather than the camisole. But yeah, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I would knit this one in a heartbeat. And finally, we have a sweater that I think is in testing. The designer is Pearl by Ray, or Megan Houghton, I think, on Ravelry, and this is the Thalia Sweater. I think it's in testing still. So this one is an over lace design that features this kind of diamond shaped lace motifs, and it's got picot edges at the neckline and at the sleeves, maybe at the bottom of the sweater, I'm not sure. And the sleeves are a bit of flat balloon sleeves. It's a drop shoulder, and this one has the requirements from the test goals. So it's got, not the requirements, the specs. It's available in sizes 1 to 10, with the bust circumference being from 72.5 to 180.5 centimeter, which is amazing size range. Not sure what the intended positive is. And she used Knitting for Olive Merino and Nomad Yarn Cirrus, which I think is a mohair, maybe. Seems like it is. Oh, it's meant to be one with 5 to 10 centimeter of positive ease at the chest and 10 to 15 centimeters at the sleeves. I think that's really lovely to add the amount of centimeters in the sleeves, because it could really help you figure out if you want those sleeves to be that wide, or if you like a short smaller sleeve circumference, then you could maybe go to another size in the pattern to make that smaller or bigger, depending on what you like. But yeah, I think this one is very pretty. I think would be perfect for end of summer to fall. So that's all for today. I hope you found something that you liked, or find something inspiring for you. I'm going to be thinking about those for a while, and I'm definitely going to keep them in mind for next year. Hopefully I can get some of them on my needles. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!